Morning everyone. So let me give some overview again about framework, how exactly this framework is working. Okay, so let me take something here. Yes. So here, first step, testng.xml. Here we are starting the execution. So what is happening here in testng file? You are mentioning the test cases. Okay, so you are mentioning test cases need to be executed. So that you are mentioning here, right? So what are the test cases need to be executed? So that you are specifying in testng.xml. So from here, what is happening? It is going to test cases. So it is going to test cases. Like here you have test cases. In other words, a test methods. So you have test cases, nothing but a test methods. So there what we are doing, like you have test case 1, right? And you are specifying here the code. What is the code here that needs to be executed? Next, test case 2, again, what is the code need to be executed? The steps need to be executed. You are specifying all those things, like, so step 1, so step 2, like that, so you are specifying the steps. So for every test case, what is happening, guys? Here, first step, what is happening? The first thing, get test data for test case. Okay, so that is one step happening, right? So you are getting the test data. Next step is what is happening? Load screen pages, nothing but page elements and methods. Page elements and methods. And then next what? Test steps. And here you are giving test steps. That is what the test case. Right, guys? So you are giving here test case 1, test case 2, test case 3, like that you can have n number of test cases. In these test cases, what we are doing, we are trying to get the test data of the test case from Excel, and then so we are loading screen pages, nothing but page elements and methods we are getting, and then test steps. Okay, test steps. So nothing but calling the methods, calling reusable methods, in other words. or the verification methods, whatever. So that's what happening in every test case. So in every test case, we are getting the test data, and we are loading the elements and methods for the pages, what are the pages are required for this test case, and then you are calling the methods like step 1, step 2, step 3, like that. What are the steps you have? So that's how you have test cases. So there can be one test case, or two test cases, or 10 test cases, whatever. So that is about test cases. And here, one more step, what is happening whenever test cases are being executed, what is happening, guys? One more thing you have to remember, that the next one, what is happening here? This is basically base test class. What is this? Base test class. Base base test. In other words, what you have in base test, right? What you have, like, so when execution started, what needs to be happen. So you have all those steps here. So basically, uh, no, so I have to take this. Okay, so what is happening here? You have reporting related, before method, after method. So all those methods are available here. So what are they? So like uh, test suite, startup, what should be there? Okay, so you have that code here, right? And then next, so what else we have? Next we have uh, before and after methods for test cases. In other words, precondition and post condition for test cases. Finally, so you have test closer, you know test suite end. In other words, test suite end. Okay, test suite end. Basically what is happening here? So report plus report and open the report. That's what you have here, right? So, and here what you have, guys? Test suite startup, create results folder, right? Create results folder, create HTML result file. Okay, that is extend reports we are using. So these basic steps executed here. And when it comes to test case precondition, post condition, what is happening, guys? Test result for test case, then launch application, browser and application, and then finally close browser. application. So you have these steps. So when execution started, only one time this one executed, and this one also one time executed when execution reached end, but this one will be executed for every test case. Okay, so the precondition and post condition for test cases will be executed for every test case, whatever test cases you have here. Okay, so I mean here what are the test cases you have? For every test case, this precondition, post condition will be executed, but this one is executed only one time, and at the beginning of the execution, what is happening? So it is creating the results folder with the date and time stamp, and in that one HTML file is created under that folder. So, and there basically extent reports we are using, right? So that's what happening here as a first step. Okay, so and then when test case execution started here, yes, so launching browser and application, that is a before method precondition, and then test case executed. After that again post condition. So basically here finally close the test result for that particular test case and close the browser or application. So that's what happening for every test case. Once all test cases completed, then finally here, so we are flushing the report and then opening the report. That's what happening here. So this is about base test plus. And here basically these test cases we have the connectivity. What connectivity we have, guys? So here what is the connectivity we have? So we have screen pages. Basically we have screen pages. Let me tell you something here. Okay, so this is basically screen pages. So let me add that here. This is screen pages. We have, like, you know, for each page you have the elements and methods. So here you will have elements and methods for each page in application. Okay, that's what the screen pages. So here you are trying to load the screen pages, and these screen pages you have the connectivity again. How this is connected? So there is again web controls. So here you have web controls. Web controls. So here you will have the methods for each element, like launch application, right? Then methods perform actions on elements. Example, click, set, select, get, verify, dash dash. So these are the generic methods. So these are generic methods to perform actions on page elements. So this is about web controls. So here you have connectivity again. Okay, so this is another one. And again, other than all these things, what are the other, you know, files we have? If you ask me, we have report generated, reporting library, and uh, working with Excel, like reading data from Excel. So there are different libraries. So all those libraries also we are using. So there are so many different things, like so we have other framework related libraries. So here framework libraries. So they are like read data, in other words Excel. Okay, so next what else? So reporting, right? So read data is basically uh, Apache Py, right? Then reporting, extend reports, right? And so you have database, methods to work with database. Okay, so what else? Whatever other utility methods required, right? So and other utility methods whatever required. So these all specific methods are not, I mean these methods are not specific to application. So these things I can use for any application. So that's why they are part of framework, of course including web controls also part of framework only, because uh, we can use this for any web application. Okay, but this is for web application only. But these things, if you ask me, not only for web application, for any type of application, for any type of framework, for any automation tool you are using, you can use if you are using Java, right? So that's why, so here these things are common for any application. This kind of utility or framework related things are common for any framework. So that's why these are called as a framework libraries. And even if you ask me uh, uh, configuration file, so means global framework, uh, global variables. Okay, so all those global variables you can mention. So whatever, so this framework specific libraries are maintained in this framework libraries section. So this is what overall. And so you have some other the folders like test data folder where you have the test data, and you have the results folder where results are saved. And so you have pom.xml file, right? So which will automatically load the dependencies. Okay, so you have all those things. So if you ask me what are the other things we have, so other artifacts, what you have, few other artifacts of framework. So what are they? So one, data folder, right? Next, so you have results folder, and what else you have? Uh, Drivers, right? So all these different folders you are maintaining. So under drivers folder you are maintaining Chrome driver.exe, IE driver.exe, right? All those things. Results folder we are maintaining results after execution, HTML results, and test data folder you have. And another most important thing is so pom.xml. Pom.xml. So again, so these are the different artifacts we have in the framework. Okay. So anyway, that connectivity, again, it is, difficult to show you everything now, but at least, so the execution part, at least how it is happening, if you ask me. So this is overall, this is most important thing, at least you should understand. So your execution started here, and then it is going to each test case, and these test cases, what is happening, you are getting the screen pages, and of course the base test methods like precondition, post condition for each test case, they are being executed. And in every test case, what is happening, if you see, so we are getting the data from the Excel, and I mean from the test data folder, right? We are getting the data from test data folder, and we are loading the screen pages, whatever required for this test case, and then so for each step we are calling the methods. So that data is used here, and that screen pages, elements and methods are used here. So that's what the test case here. So that's why here, so we are linking the screen pages to these test cases and this base test class, whatever. So also, so these both are more important. And for screen pages, mainly what you are doing there, you are calling, you are developing the methods for the screens, in other words, for elements. So the elements generic methods are available in web controls. That's why here you can see we are inheriting this web controls class to screen pages, and screen pages are loaded into each test case. And of course, so this test class is inheriting base test class, base test class. So that's how there is interlinking. All right. And of course, so other reports, etc., also we are using indirectly, like Excel lib is one thing here, and report dot log, that is another method I am using here for reporting purpose, right? And in case if I have any database related, I can use them as well. So, and config file, we are using what are the global variables available. The global variables are being used across the project. And also for the project dependencies, to load them dynamically under the project. So I have pom.xml, and we have test data folder, results folder, and drivers folder. So this is what overall the framework understanding. So any questions here, guys? So I hope you got some idea now. So if you want to take a snapshot, please take the snapshot. So it will be easy for you to remember. Shall I go ahead and clean it? Anybody has any questions? So tomorrow, in case somebody asks you, hey, can you explain your framework? So on the paper, or if you are in the conference room, sometimes they'll ask you, they'll give so board and marker, and they'll ask you, hey, can you explain your automation framework, what you are following for your project, right? So on the board, at least whatever you can remember from this. So if you can explain at up to some extent, that will be great. So please practice it, guys. So in interview also tomorrow, if they ask you to explain the framework, so how you will explain the framework? Okay, so you should be able to explain clearly. So let me explain. Okay, so ours is hybrid test automation framework, so which is combination of multiple frameworks. So where we have modular component based approach, data driven, and we are using TestNG also here. So we implemented a page object model, and to read the data from Excel, we are using Apache Py to generate HTML results summary report. We are using extend reports feature, and basically to load the project dependencies and all that, we are using Maven project. So that is where we have pom.xml, and we will be specifying all the dependencies of the project. So dependencies is nothing but like testng is one of the dependency, and extend reports is another dependency. Apache Py is another dependency. Selenium WebDriver libraries another dependency. Like that, whatever. So dependencies we specify in pom.xml so that the dependencies will be loaded to project dynamically. And we are using testng to execute the test cases. So in testng.xml file, we will be specifying what are the different test cases need to be executed. And we have another module where all test cases are maintained, like at test methods, test case 1, test case 2, test case 3, test case n, like that. So in each test case, we'll be getting the data from Excel, and we'll be loading the screen pages, and we have the steps where we are calling the methods which are developed in screen pages. So basically screen pages will have a class for each page in our application. For example, login.java, home.java, like that for every page. So page name dot Java file. So we'll have in screen pages classes, we will be defining the elements with XPath, and we will be defining the methods to validate the page. If I have 20 pages in my application, I will have 20 classes. So for each page, one class. In every page, the respective page elements and methods to validate the page and elements we define. And we have another one called base test, in which we will have the startup script to create results folder and to create the HTML result file. And similarly, we'll have test suite end, which is like flushing the report and then opening the results. So where we use before suite, after suite annotations. In the same class, we have before method, after methods also. For every test case, this before method, after method will be executed. Usually in before method, we'll have launching a browser and application, and then creating the test instance to generate the results for the test case. So these steps will be there. And when it comes to after method, so we'll have closing the test result for the test case and closing the browser and application. So for every test case, we will launch application and we will close the application. In between, we'll have the test steps. So that's about base test class. And we have different utility methods which are like part of framework, like web controls, in which we will have generic methods like click element, set value to edit box, select item from drop down, verify elements are displayed, verify elements are enabled or disabled, verify elements are selected or not, get the text, verify the text on the page. So like that, whatever generic methods required to perform actions on our web applications and elements. So we have all those methods. And to read data from Excel, so we have reusable methods. So that is Excel library. Similarly, to work with database, we have reusable methods, and to work with other flat files or XML files also. So we have all those. And there is another one called framework configuration file, in which we will have all the global variables where we'll be specifying what is the URL of the application, on which browser I want to run the scripts, and what is the release name, and what is the path of the results, what is the name of the result file, and so on. We maintain all those things. So this is what our framework. So you can explain like that, guys. So anyway, I touched almost each and every point. But even you can simplify it if you don't want to explain that detail. So let me explain one more time in a simple way. So ours is a kind of hybrid framework. So we are using different combinations like modular, component based, like reusability of methods, and data driven approach. We are using TestNG for execution of test cases. We are using Apache Py to read the data from Excel. We are using extend reports to generate HTML results, consolidated report for the test cases which are executed. And we are using Maven, so in which we'll have pom.xml, where we'll be specifying the dependencies of the project like TestNG, WebDriver libraries, Apache Py, extend reports, and so on. So when we run TestNG file, where in the TestNG file, we'll be mentioning what test cases need to be executed. When we run TestNG as a suite, then our framework will run all the test cases one by one. And for each and every step, it will generate the results, beautiful results with screenshots, and results are saved into results folder. So the results are HTML results. So that's what our framework is. Understood, guys? So this time I did not go and explain about each and every class what you have. So you can just touch base, what you are using. And sorry, I forgot one more, page object model. Just talk about page object model. That is one more point you should have covered. So page object model is basically for each page elements. So we maintain a class, so in which we'll have page elements and methods to validate the page elements and page functionality. Just mention that. That's it. That is another way of explaining your framework. So here you are explaining simple. You are not talking about each and everything, how they are interlinked and all that. Not required also. So it depends. Some people may ask you, hey, can you explain in detail? Can you explain the architecture of your framework? So then this is what something you need to explain. The architecture of your automation framework means, so more detail they're asking. So whatever you can see on the screen, you should be able to explain this. Suppose they are explaining, can I explain what type of framework you are using, right? So then you just explain my second approach, what features you are using. Okay, so the major things important you can cover. Remember, any framework you are talking about, there are few things. Okay, so there are few things which you should always cover. So what they are, if you ask me, so let me clear this. So any framework you are explaining, you should cover few important components, important artifacts to be covered while explaining automation framework. Execution. Okay, how you execute. Reports. What kind of reports are generated. Test data management. How you manage the results. I mean, sorry, test data for each test case. Okay, and maintenance. In other words, more you should talk about. So reusability. How effective your scripts are. So are you, I mean, the code whatever you are developing, are you following the reusability? Okay, so that is another thing. Next, portability. So just make sure able to run on different browsers, missions, OS, etc. So this framework not only in my mission, even in your mission also it should work. Is it working or not? It is working. So we already did it. I developed, I gave it to you. You are able to run it, right? So, and different operating systems. Yes, even this framework will work on other operating systems also, guys. Another thing is, so different browsers. Yes, this script will work on other browsers also. Okay, I'll show you that as well. Okay, simple. Yes, you need to change the browser name. So it will work. Only the browser drivers you need to add. So this is also another important thing. And the reusability, is basically talks about, so modular, okay, and component based. So means components. So whatever the code you write, if they try to make that code a reusable component, reusable method, in other words. So that is very important. That will save the time. Basically, save scripts development and maintenance time. Save scripts development and maintenance time. That's what important. Okay. So how effectively you are managing test data for test case? Very important, right? So reports. So always remember, ensure detailed, detailed and accurate results are generated. Next, execution. Flexibility to run scripts or test cases as a batch or independently. Are we able to run our test cases independently, guys? Why not? So you can include that. So how you include it? We already discussed, right? So for example, we already implemented in the mini framework. So rather than mentioning like this, so what you can do, guys, So here you can specify what methods you want to run, right? So you know how to include them. So include, so name equal to, what is that? Method name. So like this, you can specify, and this is basically exclude, means I don't want to run this test case. So if you go to test cases, and here you can specify what test cases you want to run and what test cases you don't want to run. So take this test case, I want to run this, so I'll specify this. Okay, and similarly if I want to run any other test case, so if I don't want to run any other test case, so I can ignore that. For example, let me do that also, like that. 1 second. Yeah, so let's say this is another test case, whatever the test case name, for now just ignore it. Okay, this is second test case. Okay, like that. I have one more test case. Okay, so this is test case 3. So this is how you have the test cases. So test case 2 I want to include, right? So I can specify that, and test case 3 I don't want to run now, so then here I say exclude. So the point is here, guys, you have the flexibility to run all the test cases in your framework, right? Suppose if I want to run only the first test case, even I can do that also. So here you can mention, so this exclude and include this, which means only this test case will be executed, the remaining 2 test cases will not be executed. So you have that flexibility. That's what, so when you say execution, flexibility to run test cases as a batch means two or more test cases, not single test case. As a batch means multiple test cases you are able to execute in one run session. Okay, or even you have a flexibility to run only single test case. So why we do single test case execution means, yeah, assume there is a test case which is failed, and so whatever the reason it is, now you want to rerun the test case only, then so you can do that, right? You have that flexibility. So execution, how flexible you have, and then so reports, how detailed reports you are able to generate, and detailed and accurate clear results you are able to generate, and test data management, which is very, very important, and so the reusability, so nothing but so modular and component based. So modular is basically you are trying to, rather than writing everything into so one package or one class, you are trying to you are trying to classify your classes into different packages, and under package again you are trying to classify the methods into different classes, like web controls.java, excel.java, database.java, xml.java, right? So like that, so different classes, so you are creating and you are maintaining the reusable methods. So that's what modularity. And component based means, so the code, whatever you are writing, try to make the code maximum reusable, generic, and that particular component, nothing but method, so you can reuse so wherever you want. That way it will save your time while developing the scripts, and also tomorrow if there is any change in your application or you want to modify something or whatever the reason, so you can just go and change that particular component So wherever that component is used, that component might be used in different classes or different test cases. So it will be automatically reflected. So that's what the advantage of a componentization. Okay. So this is called as componentization. So rather than writing a say linear coding or sequential programming, so always try to make the code in a components. So nothing but reusable methods or functions. So these things are majorly very important. And if you ask me, I can keep on adding more and more, right? So uh, coding standards, right? In other words, you can talk about like, so handling exceptions. Yes, we implemented that, right? So we handle the exceptions so that we can do the execution smoothly. And so implementation of, synchronization whenever, application is responding slowly. So, you have that waiting mechanism, you implemented it. If required, you can increase the time also. You are able to do that as well. So that is another thing. And so next one is avoid dependency. So avoid dependency. That's where you are using, pom.xml, to load the, you know, dependencies dynamically, right? So there is no dependency, right? And also, right? So code is centralized. Means what is that? So maintaining the repository. So that is where we used, Git and GitHub, right? So we used Git and GitHub. So that is another thing we used. Okay, and also and continuous integration, CI, right? So continuous in this we did not see yet. We will see continuous integration. So means what? Run the test cases automatically whenever application build is deployed in QA environment. So means we are avoiding test engineer dependency to run the scripts when build is ready in QA environment. So that's where this continuous integration coming into picture. So that's where what is that we are using? We are using Jenkins. So anyway, we did not see that yet. We will see that. Okay. So we have seen GitHub. We have seen Maven, and one more thing we will see Jenkins also. Okay. So like that, if I start adding, I can say more, actually, but if you are able to, talk about these things, you need, good preparation, guys. So, whenever you are trying to explain something, always you have to prepare for that. Preparation is very, very important, guys. I'm telling you. So I suggest you to stand in front of, mirror or something and explain yourself about the framework. So just keep these points, in your mind and try to prepare yourself. If you want to make a, notes, that's up to you. Anyway, it is there, it's recorded already, but still my suggestion. So prepare yourself, how you want to explain point by point, right? So, and then, stand in front of mirror, or you explain it to your friend or somebody, right? Or you can make a call to, your friend and then, explain over your phone. So how do you want to do it? Just explain it multiple times and you will see yourself, so there is a change, there is a betterment. And if you are satisfied with the way of explanation, then you can stop there and you can just, say you can go and explain in interviews also. So this is very common question, guys. If you are attending automation, interview. So this is very common question. Explain about the framework what you are using, right? So it's a very common question. And like similarly, introduce yourself, right? Another common question. you have to prepare for it, guys. So preparation is very, very important. So similarly, how you prepare for self-introduction, similarly, you have to prepare for explaining about your automation framework. And don't try to explain, first point is, second point is, third point is, like that. Don't try to explain that. If you forget any point, no problem. For example, you explained everything and you forgot to talk about, Jenkins, then you tell them, sorry, I forgot to mention that, we are also using Jenkins, continuous integration is implemented. So we use Jenkins for that. So, whenever application build is deployed, then automatically our smoke test cases are executed. So we configured, our smoke shoot in Jenkins. So we created job for that. Something like, you can just add in between. Let's say you forgot to mention one more thing also, like about reports, for example. Let's say, no, I'm sorry, I forgot to, mention. So we are using extend reports to generate, beautiful HTML results. So they are very detailed. So where you can see like how many test cases are executed, how many test cases are passed, how many test cases are failed, at what time the test case execution started, what time ended, what is the total elapsed time, and who executed, on which mission the test cases are executed, and number of steps failed, number of steps passed, and also for each test case, if I open a particular test result, where I can see step-by-step result with the screenshots. So explain that. Just sometimes you have to raise, because you are highlighting, which is you feel great about, your framework. So yes, definitely, guys. Remember, when you are having such kind of report, why can't you highlight that? And also test data management. Yes, you are maintaining data for each test case, and that data dynamically your framework is reading, and the data is used, in the script. So that's how, that is another most important thing. Tomorrow, you need not to go and, touch your script if you want to change the data. Simply, you can go to Excel file and you can modify the data. So you are not touching your automation scripts. So which is very important. So there should not be any dependency. There should not be any hard coding, right? Always it should be dynamic. Okay. So the code, the test data should be maintained in external sources. So mainly people are using Excel. Even some people are using database. Some people are using JSON file. Some people are using XML, but majority of the people are using Excel. You can also mention that in our framework, we use Excel to maintain our test data, right? And why don't you highlight about test engine? And why don't you highlight about, page object model? So what advantage are we following the page object model? Yes, tomorrow if there is any change in a particular page, I need not to bother about the all methods, all classes where I used these elements or these methods. So simply I can go to straightforward a particular class, where a particular class of that particular page. So where you have the elements and methods, just go and modify if there is any change. So it's easy to maintain, right? So that's how, you have to highlight the advantage. And Maven you are using, definitely it is advantage, right? So I need not to add them manually. So tomorrow if I want to change the version of Selenium, should I reinstall everything? No, you just go to pom.xml and then change the version. For example, so what you do, just go to this pom.xml and you want to use Selenium 4.0, right? Or you want to use different version of extend reports, or you want to use different version of HTML. What do you do? Just simply go and change here, guys. Change it and then so build the Maven project. That's it. Okay. So if you want to change your Selenium, so what do you do? So you just go and change the Selenium version. So here the Selenium version you are using, right? You want to use 4.0. Yes, you just go and modify here 4.0. That's it. Automatically. So this Maven will, load the latest versions of Selenium libraries. So that's how, that is another advantage, definitely, right? And you can highlight about GitHub also. Yes. So as a team, we are not maintaining our code in the local machine. It is maintained in the centralized place. Be it you are a single team member or multiple team members. So the reason is, if you are a single team member, what is the problem? Why should I maintain in the centralized place? Why can't I maintain in my local mission? You may be having question. Okay, boss. Let's say tomorrow suddenly due to some health emergency, you are not available for 1 week or 1 day or 1 month. Then you are not supposed to share your mission password and all that, right? So then if some other team member in your team want to use that scripts, want to execute the scripts part of this current release, how you manage that, right? If that scripts are maintained in the GitHub repository, then they can happily get that project, they can configure into their mission anytime and they can run the scripts. So that's how the code should be maintained in the centralized repository. And anyway, when 3-4 team members are working, so as a team, because one member is automating some particular screen pages, another team member is automating some other screen pages, and you are automating some module test cases like that. So you are working, as a team. So we should be having that coordination. So how it is possible, right? So that is possible if you maintain the code in centralized repository. So that is another most important thing which you can highlight, right? So that's how, guys, you can highlight each and everything. And another thing, like, even you can highlight exception handling. Yes, we implemented exception handling in web controls.java. That's where mainly you are doing actions on application. Whenever some element not identified, right? Immediately don't stop the execution. If there is no dependency, why can't you continue? I want to report that, failures into result. Okay. So for example, one message not displayed. Why should I stop the execution? I want to continue, right? So you should handle the exceptions. The reason is you are going to execute the scripts without your presence. That's what even here you can see automatically executed. So one test case is failed. So what? Why should I stop the other remaining test cases? Or one step is failed. Why should I stop here if there is no dependency? So exception handling is important. And next, so implementation of synchronization also very important. The reason is if application responding sometimes little slow, yeah, it happens, guys. Sometimes, due to some network or due to some servers are responding slowly. So for whatever the reasons, right? So sometimes application will respond and maybe in some particular pages only, not entire application. So if you had implemented synchronization, at least default time, implicitly wait like 20 or 30 seconds. So wherever application responding slowly, it will wait. But again, as an automation designer with your experience, so you are mentioning other synchronization features like thread.sleep and WebDriver wait, Fluent wait. So wherever applicable. So that is another thing. And why don't you highlight about other important thing, like I can run my scripts on different missions, I can run my scripts on different browsers. So I did not mention any dependency to particular browser or something. Yes, that is another most important thing. So like that, guys. So whatever, the highlights, you can always highlight those things. It is very, very important when you are explaining about your automation framework. So that's where, guys, they'll be impressed. Okay. So people will answer questions, but how effectively you answered, right? So that makes the difference, guys. It's very, very important. Remember, so simply says, whenever I ask, students, right? Hey, how did you perform in an interview? They say that, no, I answered almost all questions, sir. But after that, after 1-2 days, if I ask again, hey, what happened? No, sir, I was not selected. Why? You answered all questions. I don't know, sir. It's not about, answering all your questions. So you answered, whether your answer is correct or not, that is one important thing you should know. And also how effectively, how confidently, so you could answer. That is most important thing, guys. Even 10 questions out of 10 questions, you need not answer 10 questions. Whatever you answered 6 questions or 7 questions, but you could explain so effectively, and you could portray, you are able to sell yourself, what skills you have, what is your experience and all that, right? Remaining few things which you are not aware of, you did not get opportunity to work on those things, that's okay, right? But how they will take this, the interview panel member, yes, this guy, wherever he or she worked, and so she is very confident, or he is very confident. But so I am confident this team member can learn any new things also easily, right? So that kind of confidence you should give. So when you are answering, questions, that is about framework, explanation, and what are the things you need to highlight, and what are the most important artifacts of any automation framework. So any questions?
Sir, for mobile testing, same framework you need to use or any other framework?
So what is your question, Ravi? So same framework or any other framework you are saying, right?
Ye- Yes, sir.
That's what I say, Ravi. There is no any dedicated thing which we need to follow.